on patrol with Maryland State Trooper First Class Stephon Hill. As we ride along I-695, he tells us the things he's watching for on the road, from aggressive and speeding drivers to distracted and erratic motorists.
And again, you would think, they would see us, being a marked patrol vehicle, but because they're not paying attention.
And sometimes on cell phones, drifting in and out of lanes. That can lead to other problems, including accidents.
Is when we get into a lot of trouble things, whether it's accidents and or almost causing accidents. That person right there. Yep, just right beside me. Trying to be slick with it.
Trooper Hill did see another dangerous violation, a car driving on the shoulder, moving quickly past slower vehicles and then jumping into traffic.
There we go.
He pulled the car over and gave the driver a warning. Trooper Hill says he's also responded to road rage calls. The latest involved a woman and her son.
And somebody just, of course, trying to get around them very quickly, and they've been following them for, she said, for maybe about a half a mile or so, and they got in front of her and then flashed a gun out the window at her. Again, never fired the gun or anything like that, but just wanted to scare her and then drove off. We're trying to crack down on it because it's ridiculous how mad people can get over very simple, small situations like that. It just makes things super, super unsafe.
Maryland State Police started a highway gun violence unit in the summer of last year. It was formed out of the MSP homicide unit after 3 road rage killings that remained unsolved, the first in 2022.
Having somebody shot and killed while driving on an interstate highway, that was something that we've never dealt with before.
Sergeant Steve Mule is one of the creators of the gun violence unit. One of the unsolved cases, the shooting death of tow truck driver Delonte Hicks in March 2022.
I didn't even see you, but we can fight about it.
It happened on Route 50 at Route 410 in Prince George's County. Video from a dash camera in the truck shows the driver's face in a Hyundai Sonata, who police say pulled a weapon and fired into the truck and kept going. The challenges with these investigations?
The crime scene is immediately contaminated because cars are just whizzing by. The lack of witnesses is a big problem because people are paying attention to what they're doing when they're driving.
But technology is helping MSP, along with victims and witnesses.
What people are able to get tags and vehicle descriptions for, so that's been helping us a lot, just kind of crack down on that.
They can describe the weapon, they can describe cars, they can describe bumper stickers on cars.
The MVA is also assisting. Even with a partial license plate number, they can begin an investigation.
Sometimes before a suspect gets to their destination, we'll have them stopped and we'll have them, arrested.
The courts are also taking this seriously. Recently, a judge in Howard County sentenced Kawan Gordon to 50 years in prison after a jury convicted him of attempted murder for firing his gun twice and hitting a victim's truck. Gordon was not supposed to have a firearm because of past criminal convictions. During his sentencing, he told the judge,
"I'm not a threat. I'm not a monster. Whatever he's trying to make me out to be. I just like to get back to my family as soon as possible."
To think that you're not a threat, to me, is significant that you actually believe that. When you choose, after multiple convictions, to continue to carry a gun, which you pull out during the middle of the day on I-95, where there's many cars driving, and fire it across lanes of traffic into another vehicle for what? Because maybe they pulled in front of you and were going slower than you and you think you're not a danger? I disagree. I disagree 100%.
These problems have real consequences. If you use the gun inappropriately, whether you have it lawfully or not, you're going to face real consequences for that choice.
In Baltimore County, where a road rage shooting on Route 702 near Eastern Boulevard led to the death of a woman in May 2023, witnesses and surveillance video led to the killer's arrest and recent second-degree murder conviction.
We're going to be aggressive, go after these cases, and make sure we get jail time on these defendants. I'm hoping that that will discourage particularly the lawful citizens who have a carrying permit from ever pulling that gun out, just because they're angry.
So it's better just to don't engage, be patient, and just drive like it's you and you're taking care of your family.
And we later learned while riding with Trooper Hill, 2 calls came in from victims about other drivers brandishing weapons. Both of those cases are now under investigation. For 11 News Investigates, I'm Barry Sims.